You know that person who still hasn't tried that viral recipe? Who never bought the Stanley Cup? Who somehow missed every TikTok dance, every fashion cycle, every everyone's doing it moment? While millions of people are chasing the newest aesthetic, the latest viral sound, the must-have accessory, there's this quiet group who just don't. They watch the frantic rush from the window. And no, they're not broke. They're not snobs. They're not secretly desperate to join in. They're listening to something else entirely. The sound of 1,000 people rushing one direction, it's a physical thrum in your chest, that low, exhausting hum of conformity. It doesn't excite you, it shuts you down. If you're someone who sees the crowd move and your first instinct is to take 3 steps back, welcome. What I'm about to say might explain a lot. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you bought something because it was trending? Now ask yourself this. When was the last time you wanted something, saw it everywhere, and then suddenly didn't want it anymore? That shift, that tells you everything you need to know about how trends actually work. Because here's what happens. You see something once, it's interesting. Twice, it's catching on. By the 3rd time, your brain starts asking a different question entirely. If I don't do this, what does that say about me? And just like that, a choice becomes a test. Am I cool enough? Aware enough? Part of the group or outside of it? Society calls this being out of touch. People label this as antisocial, a little weird, always late to the party. But this is power. There's this concept in psychology called informational social influence. Basically, when we're uncertain, we look to others to figure out what's correct. Trends exploit this perfectly. They create artificial urgency. Everyone's doing it right now, which triggers your brain's shortcut for this must be important. But people who resist trends, they've caught on to something crucial. Just because everyone's paying attention doesn't mean something's worth your attention. Following trends means letting other people decide what matters. What you wear, what you watch, what you buy, how you spend your limited time on Earth. This isn't a personality flaw. It's a core, non-negotiable need for system integrity. It's a difference in wiring. Research shows that about 15 to 20% of any population just opts out entirely. They're not early adopters or late bloomers. They're non-participants. And studies in consumer psychology reveal something interesting. These people tend to score higher in what's called internal locus of control. Translation: they believe their choices shape their life, not outside forces. Not influencers, not algorithms, not peer pressure disguised as culture. Your brain isn't seeking the external reward of acceptance. It's craving the internal reward of authenticity. The trend cycle? It's like a giant dirty sponge. Every new viral thing, every hot take, every aesthetic shift, it's soaked in other people's wants, other people's anxieties, other people's superficial energy. You prefer the clean water, the quiet pool, the clear surface. The real reason for your resistance is often deeper than a choice. It comes down to your sensory thresholds and a simple idea called optimal arousal. Most brains, they need the high stimulation to feel engaged. A buzzing phone, a new feed, the rush of following a trend. They need that dopamine hit just to get to their optimal level. That's their baseline. Your brain, it works differently. You're already running hot. Your system has a lower threshold for excitement. You reach that optimal level much faster, much quieter. Scientists call this low stimulation preference. If you've ever wondered why scrolling exhausts you when it energizes others, this is the reason. This is why you feel tired after 30 minutes of scrolling. This is why you prefer the deep, quiet dive into one thing. This is why you skip the crowded opening party. Your brain is saying, enough, I'm already here. Also, there's a concept psychologists talk about called sensory processing sensitivity, SPS. It means your brain processes everything deeper. The noise of a trend is 1,000 pieces of input. You see the trend, the reason behind it, and the cost it carries. This is why you feel saturated by things others shrug off. This is why you crave clean energy. Your system is calibrated for the opposite setting. Your wiring runs in reverse. Now here's the wild part. Evolutionarily speaking, your nonconformity is a survival trait. If everyone rushes to the new shiny object, they all risk the same consequence. They all follow the potentially dangerous leader. We needed the ones who hang back, the observers, the skeptics, the ones who let the herd test the water first. The ancient role was to pause, to watch, to deep process the data before committing to the mass movement. Your desire to resist the viral hype? Not a modern glitch, ancient wisdom. You're the essential quality controller, the quiet strategist. Here's what happens in your body. The rush of a trend, the constant comparison, that floods your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. When you pull back, when you choose your own path, you activate the parasympathetic system, rest and digest. Your nervous system finally switches from alarm to calm. You can finally process. You're not being precious, you're biologically different. Your resistance to trends isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. In a world that celebrates shallowness and fast consumption, you excel at meaning. When you're focused on your own lane, what happens? You build depth, you create quality, you cultivate true skill. While others are perpetually pivoting for clicks, you're digging the foundation. Trends aren't really about the thing itself, the drink, the dance, the aesthetic. They're about identity shortcuts. When you adopt a trend, you're essentially buying a prepackaged personality trait. I'm the kind of person who knows about this. It's social signaling made easy. But here's the cost nobody mentions. When your identity is built on trends, it expires. The cycle never stops because trends aren't designed to satisfy you, they're designed to keep you chasing. Following a trend, it's a constant performance. We all wear masks, everyone performs, but for you, the mask feels heavy, constricting. It feels inauthentic to your core. You're constantly translating your truth, filtering your personality, pretending to care about things you don't. That burns energy, drains the battery. Your quiet space is the moment you stop performing. The relief when you finally drop your shoulders. You can just be. You'd think people who don't follow trends would feel like they're missing out, right? But research on decision-making shows the exact opposite. When you remove yourself from the trend cycle, you actually experience less decision fatigue. You're not constantly evaluating whether you should care about the new thing. You've already decided. Probably not. People who opt out don't waste energy on those questions. They've freed up mental bandwidth for things that actually matter to them. This is what's fascinating. You likely have a high capacity for deep connection, but low capacity for casual consumption. Casual consumption is endless scrolling, surface-level chat, trending opinions. Deep connection is one-on-one conversation, a passion project, a singular, beautiful piece of art. People who love depth are often masters of curation. You aren't cutting people off. You're curating who gets access to your energy, and that's power. Think about someone you know who never seems to jump on bandwagons. They usually go deep. They don't have surface-level knowledge about 100 trending topics. They have expert-level knowledge about 3 things they genuinely care about. They chose depth over breadth, mastery over awareness, meaning over momentum. But here's where it splits. We have to be honest about this part. Are you choosing autonomy, or are you hiding in avoidance? Autonomy is choice. It feels like a warm blanket. You're choosing a positive action, like diving deep into a niche subject. When you emerge, you feel recharged. Avoidance is fear. It feels like a sticky, dark wall. You're hiding because of past hurt, because you think you'll be rejected, because you're scared of trying. When you avoid, you feel stuck. The question isn't, did I ignore the trend? The question is, why? Are you retreating to find yourself? Or are you retreating because you're terrified of being seen? Only you know the difference. But listen, even if you're in the shadow side right now, even if you're battling procrastination and social anxiety, you're not broken. You're protecting yourself. The only way you know how. Compassion is the way out, not shame. So next time someone asks you, why don't you ever try new things? Remember this. You're not lazy for skipping the hype. You're not broken for protecting your quiet. You're a deep feeler, a deep thinker, someone who has the courage to define your own value. In a world that constantly screams for your attention, constantly demands you conform and consume and chase, the act of staying still, that is revolutionary. It's courageous to own your own timeline. Your life is your safe harbor. It's your compass. And it's perfectly okay to trust your own inner direction. That click of your door locking, that exhale you've been holding for 8 hours, that moment you can finally hear yourself think. Do you resist trends because you know who you are? Or because you're still protecting yourself? Tell me which one hit you. Drop a comment. I read them. I want to know your story. If this video made you feel seen, hit subscribe.